What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gab Lim. And wala si Mr. Maui up today because it is his birthday today. So shout out to you, Mr. Maui up. Dun sa mga listeners namin, please send him a greeting. Let's make his day.
Happy birthday, Maui! The prophet!
Happy birthday, Maui daw, sabi ng Ateneo, giving you that W, pero medyo
Ah.
pinakabaka.
Sam, I was ready to... Handa na akong pitasin isa-isa yung bigote mo. Kasi, akala ko talaga kakarmahin tayo eh.
Kakarmahin ba kayo? Kakarmahin ba tayo? Sa sinabi ko.
Sam, I was ready to do anything to you to inflict so much pain dahil sa karma na binigay mo sa Ateneo. But,
By the way, guys, sobrang dami kong death threats from Gab the whole game. I'm telling you, like the whole second half nung humabol UE and they were leading, I wasn't looking at my phone. I was working noon. So, but pagtingin ko, dami kong death threats from Gab. I'm happy also that nanalo Ateneo. At least Gab will not blame me for that.
You're safe for now. You better hug kay Manny Lati and Dom Escobar.
Lati, si Espina, also si Escobar. I owe them my life.
By the way, to all those who still listen to our last episode, we're very sorry for the incredibly bad audio. Yeah, kahit kami, sobrang nainis sa episode na yon, and it was unsalvageable. There were a lot of bloopers in that episode. Every bad thing could happen. So we're really sorry. And we really appreciate it to those who still listened and tried to listen.
Thank you.
So thank you about that. And we're very sorry. Pati kami, it ruined our night, to be honest. So
anyway,
we're doing extra steps. We're doing extra steps. So we might not get our episodes out immediately, like what we do usually. But we'll do extra steps. Hopefully, okay pa rin and a good listening experience for everyone. But, Sammy, I think you have a sponsor to shout out.
Yes. So before we talk about the exciting games today, we do have to talk about AC Tech Repair, our sponsor for today. Ever had your iPhone refuse to charge or your MacBook just give up? Total nightmare. That's where AC Tech Repair PH comes in. They're the pros at real diagnostics and board-level repairs that actually work. And get this, free diagnostics, free Metro Manila pickup, plus warranties up to 6 months. If your gadgets act up, don't panic. Just hit up AC Tech Repair PH, peace of mind included. So if you're interested, if you need help from AC Tech Repair, we will be sharing their social media page in the video description below. Do check them out. They're in Katipunan. So, mga Ateneo UP fans out there, malapit lang sa inyo. If you need help with your work laptop, your school laptop, you know who to call.
If sa mga UP fans na nagbato ng mga telepono nila kanina.
Grabe ka, baka matrigger yung UP fans. Baka ibato pa nila lalo ngayon.
Hindi. I'm sure there were some UP fans who were frustrated in that game. And we'll talk about it later. And they threw their phones. They probably cracked their screens. Ipaayos nyo.
That's a good point.
Sa AC Tech
Paayos
Repair.
nyo sa AC Tech Repair. Shout out to AC Tech Repair for our sponsors for today. Okay, speaking of UP, let's talk about that game. The more recent game, UP versus Adamson. Adamson surprising UP. This is the first time UP has started 0-2 in the Coach Gold era. So, Gab,
grabe.
Ano yung reaction mo to that game? It was a crazy game. Maraming nangyari, maraming questionable calls. Maybe we'll talk more about that. But key takeaway from that Adamson win against UP.
Key takeaway, there is really a curse for the UP Fighting Maroons in QPAV. They have not won in QPAV.
Oo nga, 0-2 in QPAV.
0-3. They lost to NU last season.
Last season. Oo nga, no? Buti na lang sa Araneta this weekend.
Yes, their next game is in Araneta against UE, who is winless with them. that should be a win. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But uh, I do want to get to UP later, but I do want to give a shout out to Ray Allen Torres because he is the headline. Making his namesake proud. Ray Allen would be proud. Show that video to Ray Allen. Ray Allen Torres with the go-ahead three over Jerry Abadiano. Ray Allen Torres from the UPIS Junior Maroons. Junior Fighting Maroons.
Nga.
Downing his former
Nasakit
school.
din kay Ray Allen siguro.
Oo, di nyo kinuha. So, I'm gonna do this in your face. But, Sam, this is one hell of a shot. But you have to note that Ray Allen Torres was not on the team last year. This is a comeback season for him.
I was actually surprised he didn't make it to the team last season. Injured ba siya or was he just cut?
I don't know.
He was kind of good.
Yeah.
He was kind of decent nung previous seasons. I think he scored a lot against Ateneo in one game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. He was in the rotation. Yeah, definitely. And I think, Sam, from the way they played in the first two games, Ray Allen Torres seems to be the beneficiary from the injury, from the departure of Royce Mantua and the injury of Renzo Competente. Because si Sierra yung graduated na eh. So si Royce Mantua was supposed to be that tertiary playmaker. Then it was Renzo Competente, when Mantua left.
Good point.
And now it's Ray Allen Torres who's taking on that mantle as a tertiary playmaker right after Matty Erolon, right after Matthew Montebon, and then now it's Ray Allen Torres. I think he's been really good these first two games for the Adamson Soaring Falcons. I think he scored 8.
I agree.
8 against LaSalle as a scoring guard. And I think we did shout him out in the preseason, Sam, si Ray Allen Torres. Because here in Boleros, what we look for is scalability. Can you scale your game up when others are absent? Can you elevate your game? Diba? Ray Allen Torres is the Matt Erolon of this preseason. Because Matt Erolon did this last season when everyone was out and he was the guy thrust into the main playmaker role. He'll put up numbers. That was Ray Allen Torres this past preseason, and I think it's showing in this season. I think he's a very underrated player. His shooting and his mid-range shooting is really valuable for the Adamson Soaring Falcons, and he can get his own shot. I thought that was in that last play, Sammy. I thought that was a clear misdirection play because they put in si Matt Erolon and they put it in his hands. But
were you surprised na Ray Allen Torres took the shot over Jerry Abadiano, the best defender of UP?
Sam, I was surprised that the play was called for him. Because there was Matt Erolon, there was Matthew Montebon, both on the floor.
Yeah.
And Montebon has hit big shots for Adamson before. So I thought that they were going to one of their mats. But I think it came from Coach Nash. Hand off to Ray Allen Torres. Misdirection. Because I think UP kind of expected that it was a two mats that would try to take the last shot. But good read by Abadiano, switching on to Ray Allen Torres, realizing that they were doing the handoff and playing through Ray Allen Torres. So, good read by Jerry. But Ray Allen Torres just froze him with those...
shot.
Yeah. Yung double crossover, step back from behind the... Actually, is that the NBA three-point line or the pro three-point line? Behind that, knocked it down in Jerry Abadiano's face. Bucket, seal the deal, drops UP to 0-2. And honestly, Sam, Adamson could have been undefeated.
Yeah,
remember, they were on top against LaSalle. They could be 2-0.
They could have been 2-0.
Diba?
And here's the thing, pinag-uusapan natin to before the preseason started, I think sa chat natin. Ang malas ng Adamson because they had LaSalle and UP as their first two games. Sabi natin, malas naman you start 0-2. We sort of assumed it would be an 0-2 result. So, them coming out 1-1, almost 2-0. Is this the year for Adamson? Yun yung pinag-uusapan natin the entire preseason.
We ranked them number 3 in our power rankings. Diba?
Hindi na step ladder. Hindi
Or
na
at
step.
least me and Maui, and then you did, diba? You did
I think so.
also.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, we all did. Crazy. And uh, the play before that, I thought was a great out of bounds play by Coach Gold. Remember that? Harold Alarcon curling around Gani Stevens. Joshua Barcelona, what are you doing? Uh, so he curled around yung Gani Stevens, and then found himself wide open underneath the basket. Excellent play. But what a counter by Coach Nasrosella. Trusting his tertiary playmaker, Ray Allen Torres, to hit the go-ahead three to sink the UP Fighting Maroons. I gotta give a shout out to Adamson's defense. I thought they played terrific defense in this game, Sam. That was one of my notes when I was taking down notes while watching this game, while carrying my baby. I was taking down notes, and one of my notes is Adamson's defense is flustering the UP Fighting Maroons. Either that or UP is lost. Because actually, for majority of this game, this was Adamson's pace. This was Adamson's style of play. You end the first half to 26-24, that's an Adamson style of play. Slow it down, grind it out, bring the game into the mud. This is how Adamson loves to win. They've done it now to LaSalle and to UP for 2 straight games. I will not be surprised if they are again the top defensive team. That was incredible defensive pressure that they were putting on UP. They were what UP was giving in physicality, Adamson was giving it back to UP. They were not relenting from this UP Fighting Maroons team. I gotta love it. And to UP, I know they love to do this sometimes, yung mga home run plays, but don't do it against Adamson. They had a lot of passes that were really tight angles or really crowded areas that just ended up a lot in turnovers. Now
meron like last few minutes, I think si Alarcon threw the ball, like it was a bad turnover.
Threw the ball, I think to Rayland Torres. I think it was to Rayland Torres. Outlet pass. There were 3 Adamson defenders around him, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
That stood out to me.
Yeah, like ang dami. And sorry, pero for the most part of this game, and now we're going to the UP side of it, Sam, UP looked lost. I honestly, except for some parts where they were going to Jerry, I think Jerry had a second quarter run all by himself. No, fourth quarter, they were trying to get Harold going, and Harold got them back.
They had their moments.
But never any consistency as to where they're going, what they're running. There were times that Terence Fortea would bring up the ball, and they wouldn't run a play. He would just go to the rim and take a shot and miss. I'm like, what are you running?
Remogat had moments like that. Na hindi na niya pinasa. He tried to score on his own.
It's so weird. This is not the UP Fighting Maroons that we're so used to. They really don't. They looked lost for majority of this game. Unless nung fourth quarter run ni Harold when they were down by 10, I think that was the most cohesive yung that they looked. That was the most dangerous that they looked when they were getting defensive stops. Yes, Adamson was missing
Akala ko
threes.
yun na yun eh.
Akala ko rin
Akala ko mananalo na UP nun eh. Parang,
I think it was
okay,
49-39, Sammy. Tapos Adamson kept missing threes. And then Harold made this run. I thought, okay, this is UP's game. This is UP's MO. They love comebacks. Same yung reaction natin. But they got lost again. And I think we have to give a shout out to Manu Anabo and Matthew Montebon, who hit 2 go-ahead threes. Remember, si Manu yung hit the 3. Then Matthew Montebon, right as a shot clock expired, hit the 3 to give Adamson a 6-point lead. I honestly thought it was over then. Akala ko rin, tapos na nun. Hindi pa rin. So, UP looked lost. Adamson was competing with them and looking lost. I think they had how many we have to count how many shot clock violations they had in this game. There were
that was so bad.
Lalo na nung first violations.
I think sabi ni Boom, they had 4 turnovers from shot clock violations, but that doesn't even count yung mga like last second heaves nila na okay, it's not a turnover, but it was a horrible shot. sort of reminds me of Ateneo last year, yung mga shot clock violations nila, shades of Ateneo, where they're like lost. That was really bad. Dun pa lang sa first half, sabi ko, I can't believe Adamson is not down by 20 with the way they're playing. Yung shot clock violations, like they're lucky they were UP was missing their shots kasi the offense looked really bad for Adamson.
Actually, Sammy, the offense looked bad for both teams. This was a completely ugly game, which is an Adamson signature. Right? You watch Adamson games, you kind of get used to having ugly games. This was an ugly game. And talking about ugly game, how about Noy Remogat, Sam? Are we panicking now? Are you panicking? Let me ask you, from as a UP alumnus, are you panicking about Noy? He played 20 minutes, had zero, nada. Had an assist, had a nice assist to Gani Stevens, but what is happening?
Okay.
They're playing. They're playing Terence Fortea back at point guard over him in the first half. So, are you panicking?
Yeah. I'm not on Noy Remogat specifically, but if I'm a UP fan, I'm really panicking. Scale of 1 to 5, I'm sort of at 3.5, almost 4 panic level. The only reason I'm not at 4 is because UST is really considered a good team this season. So okay, I'll credit that to UST. Adamson is also a good team. So I think obviously it's just the first 2 games. UP still has a chance. I do remember we sort of talked about LaSalle when they won the championship. They started really slow. They picked up the pace. They won like 10 straight games to end the elimination round, something like that. So maaga pa. Hindi pa naman super panic level, but I am worried. And here's the thing, and this is my sort of theory dun sa problema ng UP, no? Maganda yung sinabi mo kasi for 2 straight games, I think you've always said sa chat natin, Gab, yung constant na naririnig ko sa'yo is UP looks lost. That's what you said earlier. That's what you said against UST then. And it sort of makes sense to me kasi if you think about it, like for this game, I think wala talaga silang, for this team, parang wala talaga silang go-to guy. Not like before where they had JD the past few seasons. They had Carl Tamayo even before that. Those guys were like talagang leaders, go-to guys, main star nung team. They also had other support, diba? Like you had Malik Diouf, who's like a star center. You had QMB back then.
This former season, MVP, Malik.
Former MVP, Malik. This season, wala na si JD. This is the first season na wala na si JD in the Coach Gold era. We always talk about 2 guys, Harold Alarcon and Ray Remogat, taking over as the leaders or as the main guys of this team. But the problem is, they haven't really shown that consistently. Noy Remogat hasn't had a good game so far this season. Harold Alarcon, on-off. Nung first game, I think he was hot nung first half, second half, hindi. Ngayon, baliktad. He was hot in the second half. And I think the problem is, a guy like Harold Alarcon, he has the talent. He's really good. We always talk about him. He can score 30 points in some games. I think the problem is, for Harold, nasanay na siya na he has a main guy, like he's under like a main guy. You have to remember, in high school, he played with Carl Tamayo and KQ and all the NU kids. So he probably wasn't the superstar, the go-to guy. In college, same thing. He played with Tamayo, he played with JD, Malik Diouf.
Terence Fortea nga ata yung go-to guy nila, diba, nung NU Bullpups
in high school, yeah, I think so. Mas si Terence yung scorer. So, he has the skill set, he has the talent. It's just, siguro hindi siya sanay na every day, every quarter, he has to be that guy. On the other end, Ray Remogat, he was that guy in UE. But then, you talked about this with Ray Remogat. This is a different system. And I think Sina Coach Boom also talked about it. This is a different system from what he was used to before in UE na everything revolves around him. This one is like a team-based system and Coach Gold prioritizes defense. And I think you can see sometimes during breaks in the game, may kita mo guys like Terence Fertea, the NU kids, Abadiano, they're talking to Remogat. They're telling him, hey, you should go here, you should do that, whatever. So you can sort of see probably Remogat is still adjusting to this UP system. And because of that, those two guys that you were looking at to be like the main leaders, parang nawawala pa or hindi pa consistent. Wala talagang solid na JD, Carl Tamayo type of guys. And I think that's why sometimes they look lost. And it really makes sense. Even nung preseason, we sort of talked about it na parang it's looking like Jerry Abadiano is the go-to guy. I think that's why you or Maui mentioned this na parang mas si Jerry Abadiano pa yung nakikita natin. And I think it's because of that. So, am I worried? Yes. But it's still early. What needs to happen is either one of those guys need to just wake up and take over the game. That's my theory. That's my theory. But ikaw, like, are you worried for UP?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. Siguro I'm at 3 because it's only the first 2 games. Yun pala kung sinasabi. It's only the first 2 games. They have a long way to go.
And they're deep. They're still very deep.
And they're deep. And talking about their deep lineup, Sammy. So we talk about how the players are lost. I think Coach Gold is kind of lost too.
His rotations are maraming
this is the too many guys problem. He's searching for something.
That's a good point.
He has no set rotation. He's very different from how he rotated the guys against UST. I think he himself is lost. He does not, and you know that it's a worrisome game when Coach Gold first quarter pa lang is standing up and nakagano na siya. Yung hands
chill lang si Coach Gold usually di ba? Parang usually siya yung nakaupo
Usually nakaupo lang siya na yun na ganun lang siya. He lets Tom Chua and Christian Loanzon do all the coaching.
Tom Chua yung nakatayo.
Pero first quarter pa lang, even against
nakatayo
UST.
Ba siya?
Yung nakatayo na siya. Hands on his waist and not looking happy, you know he's pissed. You know he's very concerned when he does that. And I think he's kind of lost also. Given the way he's rotating his players, he does not know who to go to. He does not know where to find answers, which is kind of crazy.
Maybe one of the reasons why he's really sticking to the NU guys also. Kasi some people are commenting or are saying, bakit, di ba, nagugulat, hindi si Remogat yung starter. And maybe that's, like, to your point, he's looking for, like, some form of semblancy or consistency. That's why he's sticking to the NU guys. Anyway, go ahead.
And to be fair, he's still coaching his ass off on defense. I think their defense is still solid. But the offense and his rotations,
yun yung nawawala no?
Yun yung it's gone. I don't know what happened. He played yung Chico Briones in their last game against UST from off the bench. He didn't play Chico Briones now. He's clearly searching. He played the big minutes to Mark Belmonte. He didn't give Mark Belmonte yung big minutes now. Si Miguel Enriquez, you got off the bench. He didn't get off the bench against UST. He's really searching and he's trying to find a set rotation. And this to me is crazy because he's been playing with this same lineup since January. Since UAAP season 87 ended, he's played with this group. Remember sa Pinoy Liga with their 2 teams, these were the same guys. It hasn't changed much. Si Palangka lang yung pumasok. Iniguez, Baila, Briones, they've all been there. This team has been playing together for months now and they're still searching, which is concerning to me. Yun yung concern ko. Why is it 3? Kung first 2 games but they didn't look as lost, maybe chamba lang yung mga wins, I would be like a 1.5. But the fact that they look like this after months of preparation, they went to Serbia. Diba? They had so many trips abroad together as a team, and the fact that they don't know who they are yet is kind of concerning. It really is. I don't know, Sam. I'm sure some UP fans will probably hear you hit our comment section and go on the and tell us if they're worried or not. So tell us if you're worried or not. Any other notes, Sam?
Counterpoint lang dun sa sinabi mo about like Coach Gold shuffling his lineup. What do you think about like Adamson? Kasi parang with Adamson, paiba-iba din eh. Paiba-iba yung lineup ni Coach Nash Racela eh.
But uh, kay Coach Nash kasi hindi na ako surprised. He's done this like for what? For 5 seasons na? Na he really just shuffles everyone in and out of the lineup. I'm not surprised. Kay Coach Gold, medyo surprised ako na he does this. Because he's clearly searching. Yun yung ano ko eh. They're struggling, so he's clearly trying to get someone to find any rhythm. Yun yung what stands out sa akin. He wasn't executing like this last season. Diba? He usually does this, Sam. In the past seasons, he would do this. The constant shuffling of players when they struggle. O pangtambakan na. Pangtambak sila when they struggle. So the fact that he's done this for 2 straight games, clearly he's seeing that they are struggling. So, yun yung nakita kong trend. I don't know. You have any other notes? I do have some. We'll go to you mentioned the officiating, so I guess we'll go there.
Yeah. Before we go there, siguro for UP, just some positives like Jerry Abadiano was really good for like the third quarter, I think. Also, another positive note for UP, they are going to play in Smart Araneta this weekend, so it's not going to be in QPAV. They are going to play against UE, who hasn't won a game yet, but it's as we can see, it's also not going to be an easy out for UP if UE is hitting their threes like they did earlier against Ateneo. So, maaga pa. Siguro if you wanna focus on like a cliche, it's not how you start, it's how you end. Ganon. Again, I just go back to that LaSalle championship season, like 2 seasons ago, where they started really slow and then they went on like a 10-game winning streak or something like that. So, good thing it's happening now, I think, for UP. Better that it happens now than like later on. I do want to talk about Adamson. I haven't talked about them. I want to shout out one guy. And you know who I really love from Adamson? Austin Ronzone.
Yeah, I know we're gonna say the same name. Shout out to Maui.
Holy shit, I love Austin Ronzone. Put me on the Austin Ronzone island. Because tinitingnan ko yung stats niya eh. Wala actually na-credit na steals sa kanya. But he was everywhere. Like, he was guarding the best.
Ray Mogat can have nightmares of Austin Ronzone tonight.
Right?
Sure.
He was guarding the best players. He guarded Ray Mogat. He guarded Harold Alarcon. He was playing really good defense. I think he also got a flagrant or technical from Fortea. Feel ko na pikon si Fortea. Even kahit I think it was Boom or si Isaac mentioned, I wonder if there was something that triggered that parang elbow or push from Fortea. So
I'm sure there was something that did.
I'm sure there was something. This guy was really pesky, diving for loose balls. Like every time my loose ball and Austin Ronzone is like 5 meters within that loose ball area, he's diving. He doesn't score much. I think he hit like a 3. He didn't get credited for any steals, but this guy earned his minutes, and I think si Boom Gonzalez mentioned him, shouted him out. So kudos to Boom for shouting out Austin. Another thing
wait lang, Sammy. I love that you mentioned Austin Ronzone because he was in my notes. On Maui's birthday, nagpakita si Austin Ronzone.
Si Austin Ronzone.
On Maui's
birthday gift ni Austin Ronzone
But yeah, I was gonna say we did talk about Austin Ronzone in the preseason. Yeah. Remember in Asia Basket, I kept on telling you guys he's found a role as the defensive pest, and I did say he's a low-key dirty player. He's a low-key dirty. He's a crazy
mahirap talaga
guy.
Pag pogi no? Pag medyo tisoy, medyo hindi mo pagkakatiwalaan eh.
He's like Chris Chu on defense.
Chris Chu, exactly.
He's physical and patago siya yung manggulang. You know, he'll give those elbows. Siguro mangurot siya. He'll tap you, slap you. Pag the ref's not looking. He does this. I watched him live do this. He's a crazy, dirty player, man. And he knows his role. He's not going to do much offensively. He's probably going to get some spot up threes. But he's going to pressure. He's going to hound you. Gave Noiri Mogat a taste of that Jerry Abajano defense because that's how Jerry Abajano plays defense, diba? Oh my God. I love it. We have the same player we wanted to shout out from.
He's worth mentioning.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
The second one for me, ang laki ng difference with having a couple of options sa big man lineup. Sa like having a lot of bigs for Adamson. Yung I think combined si Perez, si Tumaneng, and si Demisana only played like 15 minutes, but it wasn't a negative. It wasn't a negative. Exactly. Manzano can rest more. Like, again, shout out to the analysts for this game. I think it was like Isaac or si Boom, whoever mentioned na parang...
Sam, they didn't play OJ after the first few minutes of the first quarter. That's how important their young bigs are.
Yeah, after he got into foul trouble. And somebody mentioned na like guys like Perez and Tumaneng, they don't really do a lot. Like, they don't really score or whatever. Pero they don't do anything bad. So, I think they are very serviceable bigs. And just being big bodies, long bodies, impacts the game. Nothing against Mario Barasi, but like, night and day difference from last season where they struggled kapag umupo na si Manzano. By the way, shout out to Mario Barasi, like, who got drafted sa PBA.
Didn't get signed though.
Didn't get signed those, unfortunately. But kaya pa yan. Na-draft pa rin siya. So yeah, that's something I also loved. Yung young bigs ng Adamson, I just love watching them. One last thing, I think you talked about Ray Allen Torres. I think for me, I do want to shout out AJ Fransman. Actually, the whole game, I did not like AJ Fransman. Sabi ko sa dad ko, I was watching the game, parang naiinis ako dito kay Fransman, masyadong gigil. Even yung shots niya, you can see like, sobra lagi. Laging like, tinatamaan yung likod nung ring, di ba? And, I don't know, masyadong gigil. And he almost cost them the game with... this is where we're going next. That bad calls. But he almost cost them the game because he had a bad pass. The refs called it an out of bounds turnover, but it really wasn't out of bounds. It seemed like from the replay. Went to the ref, got a technical.
But I have to critique the coaches also. You saw that UP was applying full court press, a full court trap. Why was... Bakit isang tao lang nasa court? What?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, tama. So, Coach Nash, come on, man. But anyway, I think that pass also was a giggle pass. It was a bad pass. Nanggigil siya.
Sammy had no choice. It was almost a 5-second violation.
I know. But let me get to my point. So, I really did not... So, he almost cost them the game because of that pass. Went to the ref, got a technical. UP scored from that technical. They could have lost this game because of him. But, fortunately, they won. And, after the game, he was interviewed. I think siya yung best player. And he was interviewed. And
That's a crime, though. Why is he the best player? Give it to Ray Allen Torres. Are you kidding me?
Oo nga, that's a good point. Ako din, nagtaka ako. But, because I didn't like how he played, to be honest, si Fransman. But, he did say, he felt bad. He felt really bad about losing game 1. And he also felt na it was his fault. Kaya he really wanted to win this game. I don't know why. Sabi niya, I felt like it was my fault. Meron akong mga hindi nagawa or like minor adjustments that I needed to do nung game 1 that I wasn't able to do. So I'm glad I got to win this game. And after he said that, that's sort of when it clicked to me na, wow, this guy just really wanted to win this game. Kaya napansin ko, gigil siya. He was very passionate. He got the technical. So, I'm shouting him out.
You would get a technical if you do that to the ref, AJ.
I love it.
Bro.
But I love it. I love the hair too. But I'm shouting him out because that's a guy that really cares. Who's really passionate and kahit nainis ako sa kanya, I realized like he was just really giving his all. So shout out to AJ Franz, man. Best player of the game.
But we do have to say, Sam, that I think that technical was worth it because that was an egregious call by the ref. Well, it was close, so maybe in the moment, but in the replay, Ray Allen Torres clearly released the ball on time before he
Saved the
went out of
ball
bounds.
in time.
In time. There was a reason the whole bench plus AJ Franz plus Ray Allen Torres were all adamant that was a bad call. You can see it from the replay. He clearly got the ball out of his hands before he went out of bounds. That was a bad call. We also have to shout out them starting the play with 4 players on the court. I mean,
the controversial play.
Yeah, bruh. Like, I think what happened, because Boom didn't actually know. Si Boom Gonzalez, and sino ba yung partner niya sa game na yun? Si Jetman.
Si Isaac.
Si Isaac. I don't think both of them, neither of them knew what happened to that play. I don't think it was explained. They just said, okay, play on UP's ball. Which I think was the right thing to do. But
kasi it led to a turnover, diba? That's why napunta sa UP.
It led to a turnover because the UP bench was telling Nuruka, there's no other guy on the
double team.
Just trap and double team everyone. So it led to an Adamson turnover. But I think in my perspective, I'm guessing here, so I don't really know what exactly was the reasoning. Again, it is the reason why I want the FIBA style where you have the refs mic'd up and they're explaining what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I have no idea what they talked about in the review. So what were you saying? Ano ba yun? Siguro yung mga refs, yung kasalanan ba natin to, pre? Anong gagawin natin? Diba? But I think what happened is because Cedric Manzano fouled out on a double foul between him and Noruka in the play previously.
Yeah.
I think Adam, because had 1 minute to find sub, diba? I think that's the rule. So when a player fouls out, coach had 1 minute to find a sub. I think the refs were confused. They thought si Matt Elon yung sinub instead of Joshua Barcelona. So that's why they started the play. But then again, at some point, you gotta stop the play. Why
yun nga eh, ba't hindi nila tinigil? Ba't hindi nila tinigil? Kasalanan nila eh.
No idea. It's really, really weird. And then they just gave the ball to UP, which I thought was the right decision because the play had gone on already for 20 seconds. You can't take back the 20 seconds. But yeah, weird. Ano ba bang ibang mga weird calls dito? I thought the jump ball called between Montebon and Ray Allen Torres was I thought that was a foul. Torres had his hands all over Matthew Montebon. You think it was 50-50?
Yeah.
But usually,
so,
when
my dad said nga din na parang yinakap eh. Yun yung argument ng dad ko, parang yinakap siya eh.
Yeah.
Kaya foul. But
usually, that's a foul. You can't wrap your arms around the guy. You're essentially preventing him from moving in either directions. That's a foul. You have your arms wrapped around. Yeah, you have your hands on the ball, but your arms are wrapped around the guy.
Yeah.
You're preventing him from moving, from doing any movement. That's a foul for me. So I was shocked that was called a jump ball. I'm with Matthew Montebon there. That was a freaking foul. Why did which led to the Harold Alarcon game-tying shot in the paint. So I know there were Adamson fans were angry, and I think they have a right to be. Those were, for me, very questionable calls by the ref. Questionable calls and very weird lapse of judgment from the refs starting the play with 4 players on the court.
The two questionable calls, yung out of bounds play and yung jump ball call. Like you can sort of argue na wala eh, during that moment hindi ko nakita ganyan. That's fine. But starting the game with Adamson having like 4 players, do you think that deserves to be like reviewed by the UAP and maybe that deserves a suspension? I mean, fortunately for Adamson, they still won.
Yeah, fortunately, actually, I was ready to come on to this podcast and say we're gonna have a complaint by Coach Nasa Sela. Diba?
Oh, oo nga.
If they lost, Nasa Sela's gonna go on the refs. Like, because he, in the game, he was going on the refs.
Yeah.
Did you see his facial expressions? He was livid.
Taas na siyang shirt tapos
Oh,
oh my God.
he was livid
Yeah.
with the calls of the refs. And I kind of feel for him because
Yeah.
some of them were really crazy. So, I don't know. The fourth quarter, eh, kind of the refereeing was a slight black mark
Negative.
siguro in o yung in this game.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot are gonna comment about it, but Adamson won, so I don't think Coach Nash will launch his witch hunt you for the refs. But in terms of
Actually,
being
nag-record
reviewed,
tayo right after the game, more or less. So, hindi natin alam, baka may statement na si Coach Nash or whatever.
baka.
But yeah, go ahead.
So in terms of the play being reviewed, I don't think so. Suspension, I think that's pretty harsh. Maybe just a lapse in judgment yung by the refs.
It deserves an explanation from the UAAP.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think this is the first of Jai Reyes, the first bump in the road for Jai Reyes as UAAP commissioner. He has to explain, he has to talk to the refs and explain to the UAAP fans what happened. Also, Sam, we still can't challenge foul calls. I'm like, bro, come on.
That's true.
We gotta institute challenges for foul calls. I can't believe we still can't challenge foul calls in the UAAP. It's kind of crazy. So, yun lang. Those are my... sorry, I do have other notes. There was a point in this game, Boom Gonzalez was calling Felicilda Feliciano.
Feliciano, oo nga. Nalito.
Nalito. Feliciano, and we called Noruka Noroku or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, so I'm like, boom, bro. Are you having are you having a long day, Boom Gonzalez?
Yeah. It's been a long day.
So that was one of the funny
I always forget names, so like I don't blame him.
Okay, so do we move on?
Sorry.
That's all of my notes from the Adamson UP game.
One last note for me, side note from this game. I think na-mention to ni na Boom. Shout out to the courtside reporter of Adamson. I didn't get her name, pero she's part of the women's basketball team. So,
she was.
They have a game right after that game, and may kita mo, she was interviewing AJ Fransman right after the game, and her team, yung Adamson team, is right behind her warming up, and she's like looking at them. I'm like, what is this girl doing? Grabe, sobrang career. Like, courtside reporter na, tapos maglalaro pa siya ng game against the UAAP game. What a pro. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. We have to get her name, but grabe.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Some level of multitask. She has to warm up pa. She has to bring him.
Magbibihis pa yun. Diba? So, shout out. Sorry, I forgot to get her name, but like, yeah, she deserves a shout out. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the first game. Another nail biter. Again,
sorry to all Ateneo fans that it took us 42 minutes before we could actually talk about Ateneo game. But I think you have to agree that the UP Adamson one took precedence. That was crazy. Anyway, Sam, go ahead.
If only I can share lahat ng mga sinabi mo dun sa chat natin, pero marami ding mga censored messages dun sa chat natin. But I'm happy. First of all, thank you again to Aki Espinal, Kimani Ladi, and Dom Escobar for saving my butt. I thought I was gonna eat my words dun sa overreaction ko. When I said that UE might end up going winless. Again, to the UE fans, overreaction lang yon. So I do sort of want to start. Why I said that was because I think nung first game nobody helped Abate. Apparently we're calling him Abate now.
That's not a bait anymore.
It's not a bait anymore. After the whole season last year, we called him Abate. Now he's Abate. Anyway, last game nobody helped Abate and Precious Momoway, yun yung point ko na parang if it's only going to be those two guys and those two guys end up scoring 12 points, 11 points a game, they're not gonna win. This game, we had Welo Lingo finally catching fire after an 0 of 5 game in the first game. Of course, he caught fire against Ateneo because everyone catches
Nanood
fire
siya
against
again.
Ateneo.
Nanood siya ng Boleros, Sam. That's why. He listened to you.
Nakikinig siya ng Boleros. So kung you're welcome, Welo Lingo for the a chip on your
The
shoulder.
the inspiration.
Yeah. So if Welo Lingo is back, then maybe UE has a chance. So yun lang yung mga worth mentioning. I think also I did like what I saw from, I think last episode I talked about Kawili. Another guy I like
It's
this in
apparently
this game.
Kawile.
Kawile. Okay, sorry. Kawile. You know who I liked in this game sa UE? Si Jimenez. The big
Oh,
boy.
the stretch four.
Yeah. He looks solid. Had
Yun
a
yung
couple
who?
of
Who?
who, diba? Had a couple of easy layups. I think Kimani Ladi fell asleep on one play tapos he slipped. That I
Cut the
think
lead to
tied
one.
the game
Yeah, yung
or cut the lead to
cut the lead to
one.
one.
So that guy looks like he can play. So I'm starting to like this UE team. Also, they're looking like another Adamson na parang they're scoring like 60 points. Likes to keep it at a low scoring pace. So we'll see against UP if they can keep UP within 60 just like Adamson.
I
But
doubt
anyway,
it.
what
This is
what
that should be a really angry UP Fighting Maroons team. I would be shocked if they really shocked if they lost on Sunday. I would be shocked.
ayoko na magsalita, Gab, kasi baka makers na naman pag magsalita ako. But yeah, I do agree. On the Ateneo side, anong nakita mo sa game na to, Gab?
Thank you to Waki Espina. I have to give a shout out to him. I think he scored 8 points in the first quarter. Two threes from both corners. And then an acrobatic layup with Precious Momoway all over him.
Grabe yun, no?
Oh,
Sarap pa ni Momoy.
And actually, he kept us in the game the entire. Him and Kimani Ladi kept Ateneo in the game for the entire game.
Timely shots.
We would not be in this game if it weren't for Waki Espina and Kimani Ladi. And I do like what I'm seeing from Waki Espina. We've said it throughout the years. Whoever Coach Tab starts in the start of the season, that's usually his starting five the rest of the season. It looks like Coach Tab has found his new BJ Andrade, his new Adrian Wong. Diba?
Yeah.
3-and-D shooting guard that he's
3-and-D,
used to having.
Yeah.
That he's used
he
to
loves
having.
that type of
he
starter.
loves that diba? Someone who can knock down the outside shot. And he runs actions through Waki Espina. He knows he's a shooter. So I think Ateneo has found their shooting guard of the future. Remember, he's only a sophomore. And I think a lot of Ateneo fans were high on Waki last season, saying that he might be the most underrated recruit of the class of 2024. Diba? That everyone's talking about the Bahays, Jacob Bela, yung VJ Pre, and all that. But no one's talking about Waki Espina.
He was also a late recruit. Medyo hindi siya na-recruit agad, diba?
So, I like it. I have to give him a shout out. He hit the shots that he was supposed to hit. And because the rest of the team could not, especially in that third quarter. That was a horrible third quarter shooting-wise. Now, they were getting good shots. I do have to say that. They were getting good shots. UE's zone worked. It was a gamble by Coach Chris Gavina to go completely zone. They did not go away from that zone the entire second half, I think. They just went to that zone. And it worked in the third quarter. It's a risk, diba? You give up open threes if they hit them. That's a nail in the coffin if they start hitting threes. But it worked because Ateneo was just so cold from the field. They were getting open shots. I have to give them that credit, but they could not hit anything in that third quarter. It was only Kimani Ladi yung hitting some shots. They were given some free throws, but all in all, they struggled in the third quarter. And in the fourth, you said it. I thought UE had so many chances to put this game away. They were up 51-50. Ateneo could not hit shots on the other end. They were so cold. But UE also could not hit shots. They could have extended the lead to 4, to 3, to even more than that. Multiple possessions that they had the lead, but they could not convert. In the final seconds, Kimani Ladi, thank you for
oh my God, another
amazing three.
Amazing three from Jared Bahay. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to like this Kimani Ladi Jared Bahay combo. I think
very
this is
good
what
read by Bahay. Very good read. He saw that two defenders had gone onto him and then passed it to a wide open Kimani Ladi on the wing, knocking it down straight up. Then on the other end, Dom Escobar. I questioned the Nico Muling Tapang isolation from the top of the key. I'm like, where's Welo Lingo? He's been hot the entire
give
game.
it to the hot hand.
Yeah, he scored 17 in the second half.
I think before that, then meron siyang parang step back
three to take the lead.
Yeah.
Step
so why
back
didn't
three,
he get it?
right after missing it. So he missed it. Precious got the rebound. They found him on the other wing. Step back three, money. Diba? I thought in that last play, I thought it was criminal that they were isolating Nico Muling Tapang at the top of the key. Like, what? Give it to Welo Lingo. Run something quick for Welo. He was so hot and on fire the entire second half. I don't understand why. But credits to Dom Escobar reading the crossover by Muling Tapang pretty well, tapping it away. I don't know what Chris Gavino was arguing. It was clearly an unsportsmanlike foul or clear path, if you want to call it that. So I don't know what he was arguing about. It was clearly that. But missed free throws almost been Ateneo in this game. So Dom Escobar hits one free throw, misses the second. The rebound goes to Ateneo. Jaden Lazo is fouled. He bricks 2 free throws.
The clear path ata, diba? So it was Ateneo ball inbound.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Ateneo ball, it goes to Jaden Lazo.
Who's a shooter?
Bricks 2. And then I don't understand Precious Momoe. He gets the rebound instead of passing to his guards. Chooses to dribble the ball away. And
Lingo is right behind him, like open.
What the F is Precious doing? I was like, oh my God, what the hell did Precious do? Sam, this is what I know it was an overreaction podcast last time, but is this coming through again? Or
yung overreaction mo to the listeners who maybe missed the last podcast kasi pangit audio. What was your overreaction on Momoway?
He was the most disappointing FSA ever, or most disappointing player ever, because we called him the best FSA coming into season 80.
Ago. Yeah.
Coming into season 87, Sam. Diba? Nung nawala na si Malik. Sabi na si Precious na to. Well, obviously, he's got the talent, but he just makes boneheaded plays. And count that to the list of boneheaded plays he made. He even got away with a travel. I think he clearly traveled.
Yeah.
You're trying to get off that half-court shot. And I'm like, really? You want to get off the half-court shot? You, Precious Momoe, you want to get off the half-court shot? Really? Not your other teammates, not your teammate, Welo Lingo, who was on fire the entire game. So, grabe, I was of course happy that Ateneo won, but I was also frustrated that Precious Momoe did that. I'm like, bro, come on. You had a chance to tie this game. Sorry, to tie or win the game.
To win.
Tie,
yeah, to win.
So, just head scratching all around. Na swerte ka. Actually, since sinabi ko, dapat yakapin mo sina Dom Escobar, Kimani Ladi. Dapat yakapin mo rin si Precious Mamuway sa amin.
I love you. I love you, Dom Escobar, Kimani Ladi.
Kasi
I love you,
Precious. Keep your bigote. You get to keep your bigote. Hindi ko na pipitasin isa-isa yan.
2 points though for this game. Comprehensive naman yung sinabi mo. But like, For Ateneo, I don't know if you remember, but one of the key things that I mentioned during our preview episode was free throws. And you mentioned it, like, they missed a bunch of free throws nung last few seconds of this game. Ateneo was the last in free throw percentage last season. I think average na, hindi naman ganun kalayo. I think average ng teams is like 60 to 65% free throw shooting. Ateneo was the only team that was below 60%. I think they were like 57% for the season. And the thing is, they had the most attempts last season. So that's why it makes it even worse. I think in this game they shot 46%. The last game they
12
shot
of
60%.
26.
12 of 26. So
They
40,
just wanted to
46.
beat LaSalle a little bit because LaSalle was 11 of 26 against Adamson.
Oo nga,
So sabi
no?
nila, yung will do you one better, LaSalle.
So I'm worried. You know, Ateneo won both games, but I'm still worried about Ateneo's free throw shooting, and the 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 shooters are also missing free throws. Domes Gobar was 50%. He missed 3 free throws. That crucial free throws, clear path free throw. You mentioned si Lazo missed 2. He was 1 of 4. The only negative, I think, for Waki Espina in this game, he was also 1 of 4 from the free throw line. So, come on, guys. Come on, Coach. Like, Coach Tab needs to get these guys to shoot better free throws. Because one of these days, baka pagsisihan, baka that would, be the cause why Ateneo would lose. So, that's what I'm worried about Ateneo. And I mentioned that nung preview. On the UE side, I do agree with what you said. Like, those last 2 plays, Nico Muling Tapang isolating, not giving it to Welo Lingo-Lingo, and Precious Momoe bringing down the ball instead of giving it to Welo Lingo-Lingo were head scratchers. I think there was one of the reasons why that happened was because John Abate fouled out. And
Good one.
they
Good
could
point.
have used John Abate, yung steady hands of John Abate. Remember last season when they beat LaSalle, it was John Abate who really
Cooked them.
willed the team.
Cooked the
Yeah.
LaSalle Green Archers.
Right, 'di ba? So I think yun yung nawala yung stability of a John Abate, and sayang because I think dapat hindi siya nag-foul nung yung 5th foul niya. Masyado na siyang nanggigil. So that was a big loss, I think, for UE. I think if John Abate was there, UE might have won. If you ask me. Kasi I also don't understand ano nangyari dun sa last few plays nila. And I really think it would have been a different result if John Abate played. By the way,
Agree.
shout out to Nico Muling Tapang. One of the youngest pala siya sa team. Sophomore na siya, but he's one of the youngest. And I think he was really good this game, except for that second to the last play.
Decent after not playing in their last game. Also, Sam. Remember, he didn't get off the bench, I don't think, or played minimally. So,
Oo nga.
I do have some random notes. We do have to give a shout out to the Precious Momaway poster over Kimani Ladi. That was incredible.
Natawa na lang si Kimani.
Oh, yung natawa na si Kimani. Manang, okay, fine. You got me there. You got me. Although
sort of reminds me of I think it was Jamie Malonzo over 30 Ravenna.
Oh.
He posterized 30 Ravenna and then natawa na lang din si 30. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so yun, I just gotta give a shout out there to Precious, incredible dunk. What else? Sean Tuanyo, you're making us look bad. We picked you as our number 1 breakout player, or one of our breakout players for this season. You laid an egg, and I think Sam, if I read the Tiebreaker Times article or the UAP article right, he was heavily criticized by Coach Tab Baldwin in their first game against FEU. Remember, he said, Coach Tab said that Sean should not have driven against Mo Konate when he knew Mo Konate was a great shot blocker. He should have just passed it to a wide open Divine Adili. He criticized Sean for not giving it back to Kimani Ladi when it was inbounded to him, knowing that he was 3 out of 6 from the free throw line. So I think he's kind of in Coach Tab's doghouse. Not completely. He still got some playing time, but siguro you factor in also that Waki Espino was waxing hot in this game. But
And
Sean
I think they played zone, so Coach Tab prioritized the 3-point
shooters.
shooters.
Yeah. So, Sean, we're rooting for you. We picked you for
Mm-hmm.
breakout player
Mm-hmm.
of the season. It's not looking good right now. Come on, Sean. Time to step up, my guy. Uh, we all picked you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually that's interesting kasi kung sa UP meron kang Remogat who hasn't had a good game, we were expecting a lot from him. Sa Ateneo, it's Sean, not a really good start in his first two games. If you look at the other teams, I'm looking at Kian Baklaan. How is he going to respond after not playing really well for Lasal the last game? So it's interesting for me because a lot of the guys that were really good, maybe nung preseason, maybe nung last season, they're they're not starting out well so far. So those are maybe things to look out for the next few games. Uh any any other notes from this game? Parang
Uh, I just love Dom Escobar's game. Some were saying it's like I think Maui said it. It's like having Dwight Ramos on the
we were
floor.
talking about it sa car. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's kind of right. He's great. I think
He's
he knows how to
steady.
get to
Both
his
are
spot.
steady also.
Very steady. He does not need to be isolated a lot, but he knows how to go through an offense. Knows how to get to his mid range spot and hit it. Plus, as we said, he's a tank. Shout out to Ria who said he's a bullet train. The Shinkan said because he just goes through everything as fast as he can. So so I think those are perfect. I think there was a play where John Abate tried to go through Dom Escobar and John Abate just flew away. Because
Naalala ko nga ata yun.
Dom Escobar is just built like a tank. He's just so solid. It's a big dude. So yeah, I think the hype around Dom Escobar is warranted. I see why he's starting over guys like Tuane, over guys like Bongo. I see why Dom Escobar is there as the starter because very mature game. I would have to say, he's a one and done. So obviously he's had many years of playing college basketball in Los Angeles already, and it shows. Very mature game. I don't. He doesn't require a ton of usage, but in the flow of the offense, he will get his shots. I think he was really crucial today. You talk about that big steal, so I think he's a get. Uh, yun lang. Divine Adili,
What do you think about
uh,
Divine Adili? Like,
I think he gets lost
how did...
sometimes. I think he started the game and then he was pulled after one possession by Coach Tab. I don't know if you noticed it. Kyle Ong subbed in immediately, and I was like,
Hindi ko napanood
is
yung
he?
start eh. Hindi ko napanood yung
So
start.
is he injured? So apparently he was just getting some instructions on the bench because I think he missed he missed a certain action from the weak side. So Coach Tab didn't like that. He got pulled early on. So I think he still has a lot of growth to do. But rebounding wise, I think he'll be pretty important. Got 9 rebounds a while ago. His size alone is pretty important to Ateneo. He doesn't have to score a lot. Again, this Ateneo team is very reminiscent of previous years where different people will step up each and every game. You saw Waki Espina in this game step up. I would not be surprised if you see a Drew Bonga or a breakout from Sean Tomano in the next game. So I'm happy it's not it. If we're gonna get Ateneo games like this all the time, Sam, I don't think kaya ng puso ko.
Matanda na tayo,
nail
hindi na
biters
natin
lahat.
kaya.
Nail biters lahat ng games ng Ateneo and
I can't. I cannot.
oh my god. First 2 games. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Speaking of close games, Ateneo's next game is against Adamson. Battle of the Birds. If Ateneo scores like this, 60 points, Delix, sir,
Delix.
because that's the type of game Adamson likes. And The past two games, siguro another note for me, the past two games, like the shooters or scorers have really killed Ateneo. In FU, it was Joric Bautista, it was Pasaol. Today, it was Welo Lingo. Adamson has some shooters and scorers. Montibon has killed Ateneo in the past few seasons, so I'm gonna watch out for him.
Has killed Ateneo last season. Killed Ateneo last season.
So Ateneo needs to watch out. Ateneo needs to watch out. So that's gonna be an interesting game this week and this Sunday. Yeah, I think that's it for today's episode. Once again, happy birthday to our fellow Bolero Maui Yap. Comment down below your thoughts and reactions from today's games. And if you haven't yet, please like, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.